this is just it's so interesting because Hamzat has all of this hype behind him. They've talked that like he could be double champ. Like there's been guys like I think Alexander Gustafsson said that he could be an all time great in MMA. Like this, he just has this aura about him. He's the way he's won his fights. He won back to back fights on 10 days notice. Then he goes and fights GM3 and knocks him out in a few seconds. Then he goes and he fights the Leech and he chokes him out within like a minute. And it's like this, man, this guy is dangerous. But we haven't seen him fight someone who is at the top of the division. And the fact of the matter is Gilbert Burns, like he landed probably the biggest shot that's ever been landed on Kamaru Usman. When he fought Usman for the title, he landed a shot that like dropped Usman almost, and like outside of that, like I know Usman, kind of dominated a lot of the fight from that point. But Gilbert Burns, not only is he got crazy knockout power, some of his knockouts are just nasty. He's hitting people and just leaving them cold on the floor. But he's also one of the best grapplers in MMA, and especially his jiu-jitsu. But also Hamzat is a really good grappler in himself. So it's like how is that going to play out? We're really going to find out whether or not Hamzat is the real deal. Because if he's the real deal, I know Dana said that he wants to throw him to Colby, but if he beats Gilbert Burns, then you got to imagine he could earn a title shot. And the weird thing is with the way, like, because Usman has the hand injury, they haven't booked Usman versus Leon Edwards. So I could see, like, and I think the UFC would want this. I'd be surprised if they wouldn't want this. But if Hamzat can win this fight, he's gonna probably take the number 2 spot, and he's gonna have a win over the number 2 Gilbert Burns. He might have more justification to fight for the belt than Leon Edwards, whose most recent win was over Nate Diaz last year. And I know Leon is on a big, like, long fight streak, but this is kind of the tough thing about like sitting out of fights. If you don't fight right away, if you don't continue to fight, and if you don't like make statement wins, then the UFC can go and book other guys. And like, Leon's kind of fell victim to that in the past. And I agree that he deserves a title shot. But that's at least what it looks like with and then with Burns and Hamzat. And then if Burns wins, I could see Burns getting a title shot as well, because he lost to Usman, but then he beats Wonder Boy, and then he beats Hamzat, the guy that's got all this hype coming in. So this fight's gonna be really interesting. And then even like if one of these guys does end up fighting Colby, I think that would be a fun fight as well. That's kind of what Dana said he'd like to happen is if Hamzat wins, then he'd fight Colby and then fight for the belt. And maybe that's the case. But that would be crazy. Either way, I'm really excited for this fight. I think these are two really good fighters. I think that Gilbert Burns is kind of getting slept on. Like, he's got the ability to finish Hamzat wherever the fight goes. And, we've seen Hamzat do it too, but we have never seen him face someone as talented as Gilbert Burns. So we really are about to find out whether or not the hype is real.